Oh, and you're muted. Welcome to Scarves and Spikes on a 3-game winning streak Wednesday.
Wow, that's crazy to think about. Now that you say it,
In 8 days? That's the
I
more
know.
amazing part that this all happened in 8 days.
Pretty,
Unexpected.
pretty incredible, pretty fast. And guess what, Tommy? Atlanta United is in not playoff position, but 3 points out of playoff position. So, what's so funny?
It's just crazy that we're even in this situation. I mean, like 2 weeks before, I mean, we're
Yeah,
talking about, that we're in the spoon and we're playing Philadelphia and, this is for the spoon and Philadelphia comes back in the most crazy way to get that win and you were like, This season's cooked. It's
we're
over."
done.
Like it I mean, how do you come back from that? And you come back by just winning every game 2-1 going forward. I mean, that's
This is
that's that's all you it sounds easy when you say it that way.
we gotta start calling it Atlanta United 2-1 FC, right?
I mean, they can't get the clean sheet, but, I mean, there's signs of the defense improving, and
Yeah,
I mean, s when you look at the players that are coming in here and you look of the combo, what was the 2 center backs? It was Paulo and
Diaz and Alonso.
yes, I
Yeah,
mean, those 2 I thought were fantastic,
yeah,
throughout the game, and, Paulo, I thought specifically was very vocal, like, when they showed him on the field,
yeah,
like, when they were showing I mean, he was barking orders to everybody, and they were listening, and then that ball that was going in and he just headed it out, like, it was
yeah.
heading into the net there, and he was able to clear that there. I mean, that's a way of making a good impression on the fans there because, you need vocal leaders. We've been talking about
Yeah,
leadership for years, and to already see him, like, I definitely think, like, just, I love Stian, I do, but
right.
I don't think that he is that vocal leader there, and
And that's
seeing
fine.
Paulo back there, I mean, right, and he's fine, but, like, I specifically noticed that in this game that Paulo was very vocal, in that game
Yeah,
because in a game when these teams are playing midweek games, as you get towards the second half of that third game, things get sloppy. For any team, like it's just you're exhausted unless you're able
yeah,
to really rotate. But in MLS, it's very hard to rotate your roster because you don't, especially when you need to win. Like you're not Nashville that could, if you wanted, rest your guys on a Wednesday and then get
still
back
win.
because you've got some, or yeah, still win, or just
Yeah,
the 3 points aren't going to kill you if you miss out on them. But like right now, Atlanta's got to get every point that they can get. So the the way that you moved your roster basically is you didn't. The only thing you kept changing throughout the week was your center backs, and that was basically how Tata had handled it.
Oyos was pissed when that goal went in for
Hmm.
swear to Kansas City, wasn't he? And that just speaks to like he wanted that clean sheet. I'm sure all of Atlanta United's back line wanted that clean sheet, but that kind of feeds into I guess my overall point. Tommy, you mentioned it. There's fatigue. I mean, this team played 3 matches in 8 days. That wears on you. I think maybe a little bit of that sloppiness factored into why that goal went in for Sporting Kansas City, just inability to clear its lines and get the ball off the box. I mean, sometimes you got to get a boot on the ball and just clear it wherever, and they weren't able to do that. But you mentioned vocal leadership, and Paolo is providing that. You mentioned Stian. You can lead in different ways. I'm sure Stian leads in different ways, but Tata mentioned it. And you look at other players on this roster, Miggy is a leader, I'm sure. Oyos is a leader. I mean, there are younger players, I'm sure, that lead by example in other ways. I mean, you don't just have to be older person to lead. And we'll talk about Embolo just a little bit later on, but I'm sure Embolo, they're looking for him to be one of those leaders because here's a guy who has played in Europe. He's played in Champions League. He's played in World Cups. And I think, along with, of course, I mean, he's getting paid to score goals, right? But I think, along with that, they're going to want to see leadership from him. And I don't want to get too much into Embolo because we'll talk about him down the road. But I think that's been key to this winning streak is your vocal leaders have been helping this team kind of band together. And still a long way to go, but yeah, just that's been very key over these past 3 matches here for Atlanta United.
Yeah, and the chat's blowing up. We're back, baby. We're so back, baby. I I
Yep.
mean, you're back in it. You're absolutely back in it with 2 players still coming in here to reinforce your roster to make you better. One of the only downfalls really of the game was one of the few depth pieces that you have to come into a game late. Um, on the offensive side of it is you lose Brennan.
Brennan.
And we don't know if it's serious or not. He looked like he was in some major pain, and, like, you never
Mhm.
wanna s and, Tata, you never wanna have a player your sub have to be subbed out, like, that quickly there. But, I mean,
He was
he
still limping pretty good after the game. I mean, it wasn't, like, in agony, but it was still bothering him after the match.
Yeah, so you're hoping it's just something minor and he's gonna miss some time here, but the question I have, and I knew we were gonna talk about it a little bit later after Embolo, but, like, this transfer window, I think, has been overall pretty positive of
Mhm.
what you wanted to accomplish. Now, we don't know all the pieces coming in as far as how they're going to fit in with the team and how they're, because I mean they might not fit, or it might take them a while to really get into the team and be able to help out. But you've addressed your center back situation. You've got some depth. You completely recreated that, and
Yeah.
so far, I think we've seen some positive results in the past few games from those players. Your midfield, you've got a number 6 coming in here. How can he continue to help this team get better defensively? We'll find
Right.
that out. You went out and got your DP striker. And that was, I mean, we've been up and down. We're in on this guy, he's out. We're in with this, and then Bolo's coming in, but then no, he's not
From
coming in.
Nunez to
Yeah, but
Lukaku or
I mean, I thought the Embolo thing was dead. I thought he was not coming in. I mean, I thought that
Yeah.
was dead, but, like, that's what silly season is. So you've addressed that, and I would say with the Luke Brennan thing, and I said this on Spaces, um, not happy about the injury, but one thing that I hope that it does, and I know you asked, I think you were the one that asked Chris this, is like, "So
Mhm.
what's going on with the rest of the transfer window, buddy? We've got a weekish left here. What are you doing with it?" And then I think Doug jumped in afterwards. He's like, "So what positions? What positions?"
Yeah, and I kind of assumed he wasn't gonna address specific positions, but the fact that he didn't kinda maybe alerts you that something is close, because I feel like a few months ago when he was talking to Tyler and I, he mentioned didn't he mention to an extent, like, different positions that the team could, fill in? But he mentioned the spine again. He mentioned the, you know, center backs. He mentioned Amato coming in soon here. So that's a big piece of the puzzle that they filled in. Of course, you have Embolo. He needs to get integrated into the team at some point, and we don't know when that would be. But yeah, I mean, I feel like the missing link now, Tommy, is that wing. I mean, you've needed a winger for so long. I mean, you traded Saba, who's a true winger. You're not going to
Or
have,
Sisaba, I think
yeah,
on Salt Lake.
yeah. But you have Brennan, of course, you don't know how long he'll be out, like you said. I think you have to address this, and it's something that they've had to address, or if they've needed to address for a while. And I don't know if it's going to be a trade. I don't think it's going to be a transfer, because if it's a transfer, you'll have to s- fill a spot. You have to either buy somebody out or trade him or transfer him out or sell him, I should say. Let me ask you this though:
Well, hold
getting
on
off,
one second, one second real quick, 'cause,
yeah,
when that, because I think, again, Doug came back and followed up with that question, like,
mhm,
is it a sign and then, sell someone else, assign and sell somewhere else, like sell
yeah,
another guy, is a buyout, and the one thing that Chris said was is that there's a backup option as well.
mhm,
And I think that in saying, well, whether it's just a rest of the season type thing, maybe they just trade for, very similar to the Saba situation, where you go in
mhm.
and you bring a guy in maybe on his last year or something like that. You just bring in a guy in just to fill the need for the remainder of the season, that's fine. But you definitely, if you're gonna try to make a run for the playoffs, and if you want to make something, you need depth. And like Miguel Almiron, knock on wood, if something happens to him, you don't
Yeah.
have much else up there at all at the moment. And that's why when I said when with Luke, I'm like, if he misses some time here, I definitely think if there isn't a priority, there's not if it wasn't a priority before, which I think it is. I don't think Chris is naive to know that you
Yeah.
need that position, but I think this would definitely motivate him more right now
Yeah.
to think we have to get a guy in here that could help produce because you need depth as you get down the line here.
So you mentioned depth, and you have plenty of depth at midfield. And I think you said something like they're collecting midfielders like Pokemon cards, or was the
Pokemon.
analogy? Yeah. So let me ask you this: when Amaro gets his visa, when he is able to play for the team, what do you do with Adrian Gill? Because I assume, well, you have, of course, Ba, you have Cooper Sanchez, you'll have Jay. We'll talk about Jay, of course, in a little bit here. Um, but then you have Riley, you have Amaro coming in. So once Amaro comes in, who is the odd man out in that starting midfield trio? I don't think you can make a case really for. I think you can make the strongest case for Ba just because he's inconsistent. Yes, he scored goals, but he's just. I mean, you're kind of making that face, but I mean,
It's
but I mean,
difficult.
it's Tata's decision to make, though, right? And I guess who is sort of the sacrificial lamb in the lineup when Amaro gets in? That's you have, and when Jay gets healthy. I mean, that's the question you have to ask yourself.
Yeah, Ariel put in the chat, Mayumba easy. I don't think it's easy. I don't think this is easy at all here
Mm,
for Tata. And when I t- with I Gil, I think has been was there was a little scary moment there.
yeah.
There was a little moment in the midfield where it was one on one there, and he the other player went down, and I was like, and I looked at the ref, and I wasn't sure what she was going to do there, and she just was like, and we move. Keep
Yeah.
going. And that was I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
oh, like, no, no, don't let anybody review
Close
it.
call.
Turn down the VAR screen. Don't put that on there." Um, but I don't know. It's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
But then you didn't say Alzate in your
I mean,
in your names here.
Alzate too. I mean, I don't think Alzate is a starter. I mean,
I know. Well,
I
he's
still
paid he's paid like a starter.
I still believe he gets bought out or loaned out or whatever. I don't think he has a long term future with this club under Tata. But you have pretty much a logjam of players at midfield, and that's the area you have depth at. I think if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, you have to roll Muyumba, Sanchez, and Gil for the time being. Amaro, yeah, that's a question mark. I mean, what do you do with him? I mean, something has to give, I think. And again, it's not our decision to make; it's Tata's decision, and all we can do is speculate and guess at what we think is going to go on here. It's a good problem to have, I guess.
Yeah, well, I know Doug's been going against, AI, he always posts, like, he tries to guess the starting lineup, and AI starts and guesses it. I know that's his big thing. I wouldn't wanna play this game if I was AI, and I wouldn't wanna play this game if I was Doug, because I think there's so many combinations to this lottery that we're gonna have to find out here in the coming weeks, because, yeah, as you continue to get these players in or continue to get players healthy, which is a whole other thing. Like it's going to get more difficult here. But we talked about it before that a lot of MLS teams lack depth, and a position that you want to have depth is your center backs and your midfield. Like those are for me. Like,
Yeah.
I think those are the most important there. And you've got a lot. You got a lot of midfielders here, and it's going to be some good. There's going to be a lot of combinations to be able to figure that out.
Tyler is actually out of the country, but it is like
There's 2
I think it's like
Tylers.
5 hours. I think he's like 5 hours ahead, but he wanted to stop by. I think he's having some internet issues, so
I don't know which Tyler to
we're
add in.
gonna.
There's, Uh,
Well, I think they're kind of both frozen. So
I was gonna say, he looks like he's in the
who's
Blair
gonna
Witch Project. Well, let's see. All right. Let's try this. Let's. Are you there?
can you hear us?
All right. 0 for 1.
I
Let's try
guess
the other one
not.
real quick. Tyler. All right. Back to midfielders. When he gets this
Okay.
figured out, well, Tyler, blink 3 times when you there's just Tyler's just keeps joining our chat like over and over. Let's try this one.
Tyler's here.
You're muted. We'll start there. Don't worry, Sydney did the same thing too. You'll be fine. What's up?
Hang on. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yeah,
can.
what's going on?
The amount of technical difficulties I'm going through right now is insane, but I think I'm good.
How's it going?
It's great.
What do you
I mean,
think of the win streak?
Atlantic. The win streak is great. Jay Fortune is great. Embolo is
Yeah.
great. A lot of good things going on.
Yeah. A lot of great things going on around Atlanta United world. Now, where are you right now? Tell us where you are.
I am in Porto, Portugal, and I
Okay.
am about, I don't know, 3/4 of a mile from the Douro River. You probably can't see much, probably just a bunch of blurs in the background, but there's a giant bell tower, historical bell tower right behind me. I'm on a rooftop bar at the moment.
Nice. What time is
Yeah.
it there? How many
It is-
hours ahead are you?
It is 12:18 a.m., so like, what, 5 hours?
5 hours ahead of us.
Yeah.
Wow. You're up late checking out.
I'm up late, indeed. It was good, though. It's been one of those that, you go out, everybody here eats dinner way later than
Yeah.
people in the U.S., so right now people are just now ending and like having dessert. So I'm just
Yeah.
back to the hotel.
Have you had your dinner yet?
I have had my dinner. Yeah, it was quite nice. I've had first dinner and second dinner. So,
Nice.
All right,
Like
Shrek.
Ron Swanson here.
yeah, and kind of a Hobbit situation going on.
Yeah.
Got a beer that cost a grand total of $3, $3 US.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it's a
Very
good country.
good. Very good. Are you going to come back?
Eventually, maybe not. I don't know. I'm gonna just get my family here, and we'll just have Scarves and
Decide
Spikes Europe.
decide what happens. Just figure everything out afterwards.
Yeah. So
Well-
what's the news? Like, obviously I've been here for a couple of days, but Jay, Breel, winning streak. What else is new?
I mean,
Well, we just got done just talking about depth here and the transfer window, getting ready to close here, and Chris's comments in the presser about wing and with Luke possibly missing some time here. The comment I said is that maybe this does for if he was maybe 50-50 on adding a winger here, it might be 75-25 now or 80-20 that he at least be motivated to bring someone in, even if it's on a short run, like very similar to what Real Salt Lake did with Saba, where you got to bring in somebody here because you still got a lot of games and you can't afford to be out of Miguel Almiron, if he needs, a game off. You don't really have anybody right now. And even with Luke, nothing against him. Well, I thought he's
Yeah.
looked okay in his appearances. He's not a regular MLS starter at this point here. And I don't think, if you're expecting yourself to win and you go out and you use your luxury of using your DP spot for a big name striker, you need to be able to give him some help. You can't expect him to do it all by himself. And right now, yeah, you have Miggy here, and Alexi is doing his thing, which I would like to have a real quick conversation about Alexi when we have a moment. But like, there's just not a
Don't get me started.
Yeah.
there's not much there. Dude, he's the sneakiest player. Like, he's sneaky. He's got 4 assists in like the last 5 games, but like
I
most of
know.
the time you wouldn't know it. Like, you
It's like
just do not know
anonymous.
it if you watch the game. Like, he just does the smallest thing to get that assist, which is fantastic. But the problem is, it's just like DP players, like you
Yeah.
feel like they should be affecting the game more, and I don't feel like he affects the game enough. Like, if this guy was a TAM player, I don't think any of us would be saying a thing about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
you'd be still critical, but he's getting on the board, he's getting the assists. I think he's even had some hockey assists, but like you again, it's just like it doesn't feel enough. But then you look at it and you go, like someone that doesn't watch the game and go, well, your DP got 4
He's
assists
doing
in the
pretty
last 5
good. Yeah.
games. Like
Right.
And that's the eye
it's just so
test.
sneaky.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the eye test versus the stats. Like it feels like if Alexei Miranchuk could actually be involved for the entire match,
Hmm.
Atlanta would probably be at the top of the table
Yeah.
because like he's been good enough to pop in and make things happen, which is great. That's what matters. But it feels like if he were to be more involved for an entire 90 minutes, this team would be beating teams like by 2 goals or 3 goals at a time.
I mean,
And it's
that's the
just
problem.
yeah, and you yeah, like you look at we always use the term coach killer, right? And
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and throw that title on Alexei. I just wish that he was more significant for the entire 90 minutes of a match. And right
Right.
now I mean, you look back a couple matches ago and the assist that he got, I think to Tristan, I can't sit there and confidently say that he did that on purpose. He kind of had a touch to it and it like dinked off of his foot and it landed at Tristan's feet and Tristan
Happy
buried it.
accident.
Exactly. And it's like, man, but like, did you
Bob
really
Ross.
affect the game or was that just like you got your foot in the right place? Um, but no, I agree. I think like that's why I say it's a whole like conversation. Um, but I do agree. Like the thing is, we had that exclusive with Chris Henderson back at the beginning of the summer, and he said,
Yeah.
however many players, 3 to 5 or whatever, you have Junior Alonso, you have Paulo Diaz, you have a new back line, you have Amaro, who hasn't even been able to show up yet as a new number 6. Um, you've got Breel Embolo, who's coming
That's
in as a
4.
new striker. And then you got Jay, who's not a new player, but he's like re-signed, which is great. That's like such a great thing to hear. But can you snag one more? Could you get like a game-changing winger to jump in this game and actually make something happen? And if
I
you
mean,
can, I think that makes a huge difference for Atlanta.
yeah. I mean, like I was telling Tommy, I don't know if it's going to be a in in league player. I don't know if it's going to be a trade out of the league transfer or whatever, but it's a piece of the puzzle that you've needed for a while, and I'm surprised he didn't address it before the season began. Um, what else kind of has stood out to you guys about the streak? We talked about the veteran leadership. We talked about the center backs. We talked about Gill. I mean, what else has kind of stood out to you guys about the streak? Like one thing that stood out to you about the winning streak that
Who's
you
scoring
haven't
all
seen
the
from Leander
goals?
before. Yeah, no, that's a good point because you haven't had a striker and all of a sudden you're scoring and Mbo- Mbolo, and we're going to talk more about the press conference here in a little bit here, but he talked about, hey, it can't just be me scoring. I want to help the team be better. And it's good that you're seeing, I guess, Tristan scoring. Miggy is creating. Um,
Fafa.
Alexi's creating huh?
Well, Fafa's scoring
Fafa's
goal.
scoring too. Miggy's created to some extent. Alexi's creating to an extent. I mean, we already talked about it, but
Yako, Miumba, like
yeah,
all
Gobe
of a
has scored
sudden, like,
2
yeah.
goals in 2 matches. I mean, that's incredible to think about for a center back, but you know, that that's a good point. I mean, the goal scoring is coming from a lot of different players. When Ebola comes in, I would hate to see like everything just I mean, he's being picked to score. I hate to be like if he doesn't score, nobody else does. So no, that's absolutely a good thing to see. Now I'm not expecting like Halko to make it like 5 in a row with a goal or anything like that, but because that's not really his job. But
I mean, I it'd be great, but I mean,
yeah,
w if you told me before this winning streak started, especially after Philadelphia, and you said this team's going to win the next 3 games, I would tell you you're crazy. I don't think
yeah,
anyone saw this coming. Nobody. I don't think anyone did. No one would have said we were going to go on the streak of this, especially going on the road to Minnesota here. I know Minnesota is not a world beater here, but still, you got to go on the road on a midweek game. It just looks like it doesn't sound like it's going to be a good time for
yeah,
Atlanta United. But they've been able to do it in different ways, and you're getting different guys on the score sheet. I mean, this is how good teams work. I know we forgot about it,
Mm,
how good teams work, but you're getting contributions from different players there, and that's exactly what you need. And Miguel
yeah.
Almiron has been looking better. He's been looking a little faster. He's still like when he got hockey checked there, like I wanted to make like a video, like if I was really good at video editing, like when he hit him, I would like just flew him out of Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And like I didn't think it was gonna be a penalty or anything, but he definitely did not
Yeah,
go for ball. He went for Miggy's soul. It was like, I don't want the ball. I don't want to hit you in your chest. I want your soul. And just
yeah,
knocked him down. And I mean, I don't know if they weren't obviously they didn't call something, but like I wanted to
yeah.
look at it a couple more times there. But like, older Miggy could have just kept running past all those guys, but like
Mm,
he beat his guy, but then he didn't expect the money in the bank guy to come and run him over there. And it was like, oh, like he went down hard.
yeah,
But again, like it's everyone seems to be taking a part. And like we after these games, like even after some of the wins that we've had over the years, we're like, okay, like it wasn't an impressive win, but I've watched these games and saying some of the things they've been doing have been very impressive. And the important thing is, especially this last game in that first half, they were entertaining. They were very entertaining. You had 2 goals and you had 2 off the woodwork that very well you could have been up 4-0.
yeah.
Um and, I mean, you had your opportunities here, and it was exciting, and the crowd returned it by being loud. You
Yeah.
heard it on the TV, you heard it being loud, and the fans were excited, and then to lead into what we're about to talk about now is you brought in he didn't sting it down from the top like the Falcon, fly down, which would have been
Disappointingly so.
fantastic.
So
Yeah.
you guys saw the press conference, I think. I guess what for Embolo. I like him. I like what he can bring to the table. I like the way he's not like a brash kind of Gigi kind of type of person or Joseph Martinez type. And we talked about that. He's a different build. He's a different profile than I guess Atlanta United looks for in a striker. Or once in it checks the boxes, is what Henderson said. He can play with his ball back to the net. He can extend the field. He's quick. I mean, I don't think he'll be blazing down the pitch left and right, but it sounds like Atlanta United is looking for sort of a different kind of profile than they have in the past. And just based on how Embolo carrying himself, what he said. I mean, you talk about winning the press conference. I thought he won a press conference. Now, will that translate to on the pitch performance? That's obviously a different story. But from what he said, I really liked what I heard. He said it's not all about me. I'm trying to elevate the team, and I know that David Goss. When we talked to him a few weeks ago, Tyler, he said that he didn't see Embolo as sort of a culture changing player. I mean, we'll have to see. We'll have to see, can he raise the temperature of the team and be a leader and get guys to come behind him and elevate this team. And I think if he's able to do that, he'll turn out to be a really good signing in the way that Latte Lot did not. What do you guys think of him when you heard Embolo speak?
I think, and I'll kind of leave y'all with this because I've got to go to bed technically.
Yeah.
Um, I kind of wonder, and I'm not throwing this out there as like a definitive, like, oh, this is the analysis, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, Breel, if executed correctly, could be obviously a net positive for this team. Where I get really intrigued though is that you have Tata Martino, who has come in and over the largest hurdles made this team do something and give the
Sure.
fans something finally that they really haven't had in a long time. They haven't had this since 2021, which is
Yeah.
crazy. A 3-game winning streak in Major League Soccer. The fact that this team has not won 3 games straight in Major League Soccer since September 5 years ago is really embarrassing. And that's just the mediocrity that has kind of like embedded itself in this team. And you
Yep.
kind of look at like the way that the team is played, right? And there's like little instances of Tata ball where it's like, all right, your wing backs are getting up higher and they're actually making like really effective runs, scoring goals in the case of Tomas the Train.
Yeah.
Um, like they're doing things like it's a little bit of everybody getting involved,
Yeah.
right? So then
Yeah.
you put in like a target guy in Breel Embolo, and you kind of have to think like, is this going to alter the chemistry of the team? And I don't think it will. But I just think it's kind of a fascinating aspect of the way that Atlanta United has been built and rebuilt again over the past few years.
Mhm.
That you have a coach who has stepped in and finally made something work. It feels like he's taken the square peg and the round hole and he's shaved the edges off the square peg and finally like got it to fit. And now you've got something that's kind of working and the chemistry seems to be there enough to get it involved. So like now it's a risk. Is the guy that you're adding going to be the one that like elevates this team to like an actual like serious level? Or
Mhm.
is it going to disrupt everything that's gone right over the past couple of matches? I think Breel makes the team better, but it's one of those instances of like, do you change what's working? Like, you don't like if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of situation.
Mhm.
So I don't know. It's really intriguing. I'm curious to see because right now you've got everybody getting involved. Fafa Pico has been wonderful to watch, but Tata said it in the match the other day before we left. Fafa and Breel have two different profiles.
Yeah.
I think it was Doug that asked the question, and Fafa was like, or sorry, Tata was like, no, Fafa is a different player than Breel. Like these are not the same type of guy.
Yeah.
So I think what you're about to have with Atlanta is like you've got a guy that everybody's going to be trying to get the ball to, which is good. You have players that are settling in and developing chemistry. You also have a number 6 that this team has begged for years that
Yeah.
hasn't
Yeah.
even seen the pitch yet. And so there's a lot of wild cards still, but I feel like ultimately like you've got a foundation that's being built. And if you can just keep the results coming in, then fans will go into 2027 feeling a lot better about this team. And you could actually be looking at something special by the time Tata leaves. And then it's on the Atlanta front office to get the replacement right and not totally screw up what he has spent, a year and a half or 2 years
Sort of like last
rebuilding.
time he was here to the
Yeah.
extent.
So I actually I'll leave it with this. I almost asked Tata this question, but we ran out of time. And Darnell Suggs from the Atlanta Voice kind of asked it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But his question was essentially about like, it's been so long since the last Atlanta United winning streak in Major League Soccer. And Tata kind of alluded to it. He made the joke about like, the results when you're in such a bad way, like the translation errors aside, he was basically like, oh yeah, like chasing that kind of thing is like a fool's folly or like an idiot's folly kind
Yeah.
of thing. But like Tata is in a situation now where he's come in, he's put in the work, he's started to turn the team around. And from here, if he goes and makes the right decisions with Chris Henderson and puts in the right players and they get out on the pitch and they start performing, what is his legacy the second time around? Because the first time we were closer, Atlanta United was closer to a 3-match winning streak when he
Mhm.
left Atlanta United the first time than when he got back. Like Atlanta is closer to the 3-match winning streak from the time that Tata Martino left in 2018 than just now hitting a 3-match winning streak in 2026. You've been through so much turmoil as a fan base.
Mhm.
The team has been through so much crap over the past COVID and then the post-COVID years. Pineda kind of like mediocre and then descending into hell and purgatory with Ronnie Dyla and
Yeah.
kind of where they're at now. So if he leaves again in another year, is it going to be a situation where the front office actually goes forward and finds the right answer to the next question, which is who's the next coach, and doesn't set the team back, or
Right.
do they end up setting this team back again? It's such a, I don't know, it's such a fascinating thing because you don't have many teams that go back and bring in another coach.
Such if you're the Netherlands national team. You hire
You're
like
right.
Louis Van
Yeah,
Gaal for like the 5th time.
you just keep going back and
Well, this
forth.
is why you hire Xavi, but
Yeah,
you see what I'm
they had a
saying.
good replacement, but no, I don't know. It's just a fascinating place to be. But I think as a fan base, like, you're just kind of happy that you've had 3 in a row. You have something to celebrate. You've got a DP coming in who could change the game. You got a defensive midfielder coming in who could change the game. And now it's like a little more cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Tommy, thoughts on Embolo's press conference? What stood out to you as you were on mute? Unmute yourself.
I wasn't sure if Tyler was leaving now. Are you
I'm
piecing out
leaving.
or?
I'm peacing out. Yeah, I know that was like long winded. Y'all carry on.
All good.
Have fun.
All good.
Atlanta United, get to 5 wins, make my prediction come true.
Yeah.
I'll be happy. I will see y'all next week.
So yeah.
Yeah. I thought that the presser was fine. I mean, he's confident. He's not he won't go away. He's not going away.
No, I'm not. I'm about to hit end, and I feel like I'm going to end the whole show. So I'm like being very careful about what
Okay.
button I hit.
Yeah, don't hit end show. I've done that before. I
Yeah,
don't
I
think you
know.
can on this one. I don't think you can on Restream. Just close your browser, dude.
I got you.
That's a good idea.
All right.
Kick
Later.
me out, please. Yes. Bye.
So yeah.
So, I mean, he was fine. I like that one of the first questions asked was Felipe. It was about the World Cup and how it ended.
Yeah.
I was like,
It's not over it yet.
come on, Trent Krim. Let's ask him about Atlanta United right now. Watch my Ted Lasso on Patreon video. You'll get my joke that I just recorded. But
Yeah.
no, I thought that he was, I mean, he's not cocky like you said, but I mean he's here to score goals. He was obviously, they said like, oh, it should have been a red card or they rescinded the red card or whatever. Like, whatever, he doesn't care. Like, it's about winning to him. And he's not here on vacation. That whole comment, like, it's great. But like,
I like
for
that
for
part.
me, and I think Bama Bar put everything sounded good and looks good, but man, have we been burned so hard with the last couple. I mean, that's how I I feel about all the time with Atlanta Falcons whenever they draft a player. I'm like, okay, here's the next quarterback. Oh, Ritter's the guy. Ritter is definitely the guy. He's saying
Yeah.
all the right things here. Here he is. Oh yeah, Tua's definitely going to be it.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it's just most importantly with any sign here is that you want to see consistency of them coming in. We've talked about the
Mhm.
2 center backs. Are they, they've looked good. They passed the test for 3 games? Sure. Did Tristan Mayumba pass the test for the first few games he was here? Sure. Saba, Silva? Sure. And then what happened? It's obviously long term here, but I mean, right now, things have with these signings that have come on,
Yeah.
they've been positive. This is the exact opposite of what we saw last summer, and I think that's one of the most important things. I think, last season we ended that transfer window going, "What the hell did we just do?"
But now you feel a lot better. But I think the proof will really be in the pudding once we see Mbola play. And Henderson said he's hoping it takes about 10 days for his visa to kind of clear out. But I think the big thing is, and we've mentioned this how many times, Tommy, Mbola has to hit the ground running right away. They can't be like a warming up period or anything like that. This has to be a signing that immediately pays dividends for this team.
Yeah, and even if he just takes some pressure off of Miguel and whoever else is going to be up there with him. I mean, if he could take some pressure off them, and the other thing we're talking about with Fafa, I mean, if he could play on the wing as well right now, I mean that's an additional help. If he can even do playing a little bit on the wing, I mean that's at least another option to be able to get him on the field. Especially in games where maybe late you're trying to to win the game and you need to bring someone on but like you're obviously it's you I think when you don't have a lot of supporting depth or depth that like players respect, and this is like anything. Like, let's just go back to the Falcons since football season starting.
Yeah.
If if you don't have a good quarterback, there everybody's just gonna be paying attention to Bijan. Bijan's gonna get all the attention. It's gonna be very hard for Bijan to do anything because they're gonna be all focusing on him because they don't trust the quarterback. Well, when you don't have a lot of players out there that are, quality on a regular basis, they're gonna say, we gotta shut down Miguel Almiron. We gotta
Mhm.
shut him down. Well, now there's gonna be a little less pressure on Miguel Almiron here, hopefully, and not all the pressure is gonna be on him. So hopefully this helps open Miggy up a little bit as well, and maybe this gets Alexi a little bit more involved. Um,
Yeah.
that's the dream. I mean,
It's
that's the only thing that you can hope for here, but I mean, it's a good thing, and the signings have looked good, and you still have 2 more. I just saw Omar trying to rage bait me in the chat. We should not sign Cucho Hernandez. He sucks and isn't a winger. I mean, I know Chris Henderson watches this, and I know you're seeing my tweets, sir. Just like him. Just like him. Just make me feel better about myself. From here, I didn't tweet. I forgot to tweet yesterday. But like again,
Yeah.
this is the opposite of last summer. We feel good about the signings. We are not giving away all the kids. We are re-signing the
Reinvesting into the
transition 101
yeah,
here. Brought it in. We
yeah.
we decided to invest into Jay Fortune here because and I don't want to say that it was surprising, but I think there were definitely some people out there and obviously people that have questioned with the history of the injuries over the past couple seasons.
Yeah.
Does that affect the want to bring him on? Does it maybe decrease maybe what he got paid? Possibly.
It definitely increased. I think it definitely affected the term of the contract because the contract itself is 28, 29 guaranteed, option for 29, 30, which gets him to the sprint season, gets him 2 seasons on top of that, and then another season if he performs the way that Lady Knight hoped. And that was one of the things that I was thinking, Tommy, was with these 2 injuries over the past couple of years, how, like you said, how would that affect not so much how much he was being paid, but how long he would be under team control. And I think it's a good contract because, you know, we know what Jake can do, right? I mean, we've seen that he needs to show that he can stay healthy. I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, he's not like Stan Gregerson getting hurt like that, knock on wood. But still, I mean, it's where you have to look at it as okay, this is one injury last year with Trinidad, and then 2 hamstrings back to back that's left him off the pitch for it's going to be what 6 to 8 weeks when it's all said and done. That's sort of a concern, and that's I'm sure that came up in negotiations. So I think from a term standpoint, it changes things. What it does do is starting with next year, sprint series, it should say, I'll put a supplemental slot for John L. Ransom to come in as a homegrown. But Tommy, I wonder, if there's other moves involving, and I won't get into it. We don't have to get into it right now, but you have to wonder what this looks like for other players that could make the move from Atlanta United to. Could we see a Kovac coming in? Could we see Cameron Dunbar brought in under a supplemental deal, where a cheap deal, um, maybe this year, as soon as this year? But going back to Jay, I mean, this had to happen. He's a quality player. The missing pieces, like I said, his health. Can he maintain health? Can he play and contribute throughout an entire season? I think the sprint season will tell a big story about whether that's the case or not.
Yeah, and like even in the last game when he went out, I think it was against Nashville where it
Yeah.
was the game he was hurt in. Like he only played 10-ish minutes, but I remember, like, just in those few minutes that he was on the field, like, he was the guy that was moving the ball forward.
Mhm.
When he was on the ball, um, that was at that time, he was the only one that really looked like he was doing much, with in that game at the moment, and then it changed when he left the field, like, there really wasn't anybody moving forward, and, like, especially when you have Alexi there. You need someone to help move the ball forward, and that was what he was doing. And then he's out, and you're like, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
have anyone like that anymore. And obviously the team has missed him, in there, but others have stepped up as well. But it definitely looks different when Jay's out there, and that's going to be when he comes back. That's going to make this decision even harder on where it is.
Mhm.
And I know Jay's even played a little bit on the wing. I think earlier in the year, I think they had tried to attempt that a little bit there.
Yeah.
Maybe they, look, the thing that you wanna do, you wanna try to get all your best players out there at once as you can, especially when he comes back, the window's gonna be closed, and, he's gonna obviously wanna compete here and
Mhm.
potentially, be in the playoffs, and if you have that, I mean, he should be back then by then, right?
Yeah, but I wanna ask you though, if he stays in the Nashville game, does Atlanta United win? I mean, I
Oh,
think you can make a
fan
strong case
fiction
that they
here.
do. I
Oh,
think you make a
well
strong case that they do, right?
well, Nashville didn't look good in that game. They
No.
were also having the post World Cup, you know,
Blues.
yeah, they just looked rough at that time, so, I mean, yeah, I mean, you had your opportunities to win that game before Nashville came and scored that late goal there. Like, you had opportunities, so, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you wanna write the fan fiction, yeah, Atlanta wins 8-0, in Nashville in
Not going
that
that
day.
far, but
I mean, if we're going fan fiction,
yeah.
let's go all the way.
Think about
It's a
this
good thing to
though.
do here. It's a good
Sorry.
thing, and we'll see what his salary is. I don't we'll find
Yeah.
out what how much that we're paying him here, because I think everyone always gets excited about a signing, and then when the MLS salary guy comes out, then you find that, and that contract's for next year, so it's going to be a while probably till we find that out. Correct?
Well, in the fall, but it
But
depends
it
on.
doesn't go into effect till next year.
Right.
So we might not find out for quite some time of what it
Yeah.
is, because when that comes out, there almost every team has something where they go, "I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, how
For a
much are you
lady
paying
nut,
him?"
that was, Almiron. Could be
Oh yeah,
Brill. Could be
I
Brill.
I remember I was at a pub in Columbus, and that came out, and I just looked at it, and I was like, "All right, let's sort highest to lowest in the league," and I'm like, "He's so high."
He's making how much again?
Yeah, he's
At least
higher
it
than
doesn't
I
count
am right
at
now
least it
on the
doesn't count
list.
toward your cap. I mean,
Right.
you can look at it that way, but it's still a
Yeah,
lot of
but
money.
still, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's a lot. It's not my money. I don't care what Arthur's paying him, but,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I mean, it's a good thing here. You invest into Jay, he deserves it, and now it's just you hope that, these injuries are freak injuries,
Mhm.
and I think they have been, and
Yeah.
hopefully that, it's unfortunate now that, you thought that he'd be able to come back, and now he's out for a little bit longer, but we'll see what happens. When is his projected return-ish?
I don't know. It's 3 to 4 weeks from, a few weeks ago, so not this weekend. I don't think he'll be back this weekend. I would say I'd expect him back potentially against DC. That's just a guess, but, I mean, we'll see what happens. Maybe he comes back against Miami, but, yeah, we'll see what happens. Hamstrings are tricky, so we'll see how things work out with that.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Charlotte coming up on Saturday?
Ooh,
Charlotte's
I did
on.
research.
What kind of research did you do?
Charlotte
Charlotte's
scores
not
a
a.
lot of goals.
Yeah, I mean, they're not a great team. They're in the
They've
playoff
been
mix, of
scoring a
course.
lot, though.
Yeah, they scored 3
They
against DC.
Every game, so I think, if I remember correctly, looking at this, I'll get confirmation here,
Yeah.
but I think that they have scored at least 2 goals in every game since the World Cup except 1.
Yeah, Chicago, they lost 2-1 on July 31st, but yeah, that's the only one. They haven't, like you said, they haven't scored at least 2 goals, and so it's sort of like Atlanta. In a sense of they scored 3 goals in the last 3 matches against Columbus, at TFC, and against DC. So they are.
So they're not playing great teams, so let's just put it there. They
No.
haven't played great teams. Like, if I was a Charlotte fan and I looked at this run, especially ending with Atlanta United for the month, I'd be like, we're getting 12 points. We're 100% getting 12 points out of this. But they did
Right.
not expect that Atlanta United would be streaking at this point.
Um, there Charlotte's actually 3 points out of the top 4 spot, which is a little bit surprising. But like you said, the schedule has not been exactly murderer's row. I mean, Columbus, TFC, DC haven't really striking the fear into opponents recently, unless it's Inter Miami, which TFC beat 2-1 the other day. So
Yeah.
maybe in that case, it's different. But yeah, this is a team that has been putting the ball in the back of the net. As far as how it looks in the supporter shield or the MLS table, how many goals is scoring? They're scoring 38 goals. So they have scored 38 goals. So that's tied for 6 in MLS right now. I'm sorry, no, tied for 5th in MLS. So they're top 5 or so in goals scored with 38. 32 goals though allowed, which is not terrible, but still not great, sort of middle of the road. Atlanta has allowed 4 more goals. And sort of to that point, they gave up 3 goals. They scored 3 goals, but actually gave up 3 goals against TFC, which the thing about Charlotte, Tommy, is this. They're a little bit they haven't been really able to close out matches a whole lot. TFC, I think they had a big lead, but they blew that lead. They ended up walking out the pitch with a draw. They lost to Chicago, like I said, but then they're unbeaten their past 3. I mean, this is still going to be a tough match. I think it all starts and ends with Pep BL. You have Maximin still getting integrated into this team, Tokolamadi as well. So you have some attacking weapons if you're Charlotte FC. I think it's going to be Atlanta's biggest test out of these past few matches. Certainly a bigger test than Red Bull, Minnesota. Certainly better than Sporting Kansas City, which I mean isn't saying much, but you're going to be tested by this team. You came back against them a few weeks ago. You went down 2-0, but you came back. But this is another challenge for them, and you win this match, you could be looking at possibly, and maybe it's not possible. I have to look at the standings again, but you're right back in the mix of a playoff spot if you win this match. I mean, I think the best you could do is tie Orlando, but Orlando will have the tiebreaker on, I believe, goal differential.
Yeah,
Still,
too
but
early for tiebreakers. Too early for there. But like
the
you're in
fact we're talking about
range.
is something. Yeah,
Yeah, you're in the range. And the crazy thing, I remember watching that Charlotte Toronto game, and they were, from what I remember, I think it was 3-1. I'm trying to
Mhm.
pull it up here, but yeah, Zimmerman got a red card
Yeah.
in that game, so they were down a guy and ended up still scoring 2 goals in the last 15
Mm.
minutes to get the draw there. And then we obviously know what happened with Atlanta and Charlotte right out of the World Cup. I mean, Charlotte blew it. They were up 2-0, and you allow Atlanta United, and I'm sorry, it was the lowly Atlanta United at that time, come back and score 2 goals. I mean, that had to be embarrassing for them at that time, because I mean, when you're at the bottom there and you lose to Atlanta United, or you lose to the Sporting KC, or at that time Philadelphia as well, it's like that's not good, especially at home.
Yeah.
So, I mean, blowing that game at home for Charlotte, I'm sure they're looking for revenge um, against us here. And this is I mean, if Tyler was here, I'm sure he'd call it a derby. He loves calling everything a derby, but I I do think Atlanta is going to. Oh, what do I do here?
What are you thinking?
I have confidence. I have confidence. I was like, Don't do it. Don't do it. It's the it's the hope that kills you, but it's the hope that's going to keep me going. Atlanta United,
What do you think?
2-1.
2-1?
Defensively, we continue to play well defensively. I don't know who's going to score the goals.
2-1 FC.
But I know that, Alexi, we're gonna end this game, and we're gonna 2-1, or it's gonna be 2-1, and then we're gonna say, "Oh, Alexi got 5 assists in this 2-1 game. How did that even happen? We have no idea." but somehow Alexis got 5
Impossible.
assists. He assisted it to
Literally
himself,
and
and
figuratively.
yeah. Wait, did you say 2-1? Wait, what did you
No,
say?
I'd say 2-1 FC, like we said at the top. We would start calling Atlanta United. I'm going to go back with another 2-2. I think, like I said, this is your biggest challenge out of these past few matches. Um, when you take the 3-match winning streak plus this one, you have a lot more lethal weapons. You have St. Maximin still getting integrated. He had his initial start with the team just the other day, so he's still getting his feet wet in MLS. So I imagine he'll start for Charlotte on Saturday, but I think he gets involved, and I think he may get a goal involvement against Atlanta. You're still not a great team. You're still waiting for Embolo. You're still waiting for Amaro to come in. So I think you'll at least walk off the pitch with a point to still feel better about the way things are going. But I don't think it'll be a win. I think it'll be a 2-2 draw, another 2-2 draw. I think it's more back and forth. I don't think we'll see like any team go up multiple goals and then another comeback. I think it'll just be a back and forth battle. So 2-2 is my prediction for that one for Saturday.
Yeah, Omar put 4-2. I assume he means Atlanta. Team put 3-2 Charlotte. Wow.
Mm.
Team, I didn't know you were a traitor, but here you are. Bamball put 3-1 or 2-2, depending on if we can keep the vibes. And that's exactly what I was going to say. I think momentum is a hell of a drug for some teams sometimes, and when you have it, you have it. And I know, again, the team, I think both, Kansas City and Atlanta were a little sloppy at the end
Mhm.
of that game, especially in like the last like 30ish minutes. But Atlanta was still able to overall, besides a couple plays, like, really just be able to control the game. And then they were doing the smart thing that they didn't do in Philly. I kept joking around, like, ice the ball, just kick it down the field. Let's just ice it. Just
Yeah.
go all the way down there. They're
Put in the
they're not gonna blow
stands.
the whistle. Yeah, just clear it. Like, that's what you
Yeah.
need to do. And they grinded the win out. Obviously, it seems like they've been learning from their past mistakes, here,
Mhm.
and that's what you wanna see. But I think that if this game was on the road, I would probably end up saying the draw there. But you're at home again here, and the
Yeah.
home vibes are good. And I hope the fans reward them. And that's like the main thing for me is like, we've talked about the fans. We've talked about how it's completely reasonable that they're not going to games, and it's quiet there, and there's not as many, is because you having a bad product. Well,
No.
we've seen some good product here over the past couple home games. So I hope that the team is rewarded by seeing a good group of fans come to this game and root this team on, because they're earning this back, and they're earning it back at a perfect time, because every sport and the rest of the sports in the world are all going to be starting up here, in the next couple months. So you got to, yeah, like I've always say, you're fighting for people to spend their money to you. And right
Mhm.
now they're doing a pretty good job of telling you why you should come to the Benz on Saturday.
We gotta go because you got a fancy draft to do.
Yeah, dun Bijan.
Bijan number one,
I have the 17th pick.
7th, I
So
guess not.
no, I'm not getting
So
Bijan with the 17th pick.
sorry about that. Sorry about your low pick, by the way. But
But
still, I hope you have a great season this year. Hope you
no,
win.
thank you, thank you. But and I hope Atlanta United has a good game on
Saturday.
Saturday. Let's see what happens.
Yes. So scarvesandspikes.com will be covering that match as well as, of course, every single Atlanta United match throughout the season. All latest news, analysis, and insight on scarvesandspikes.com. Patreon.com/scarvesandspikes. Get bonus audio and video content, including our Ted Lasso review series. Get access to our mailbag episodes and access to our Discord and a whole lot more. Support our coverage here. Go to patreon.com/scarvesandspikes. Follow us on social media. Actually, before social media, join our Score Hub group. There's a link
Score
in the
Hub.
there's a link in the description if you're watching on YouTube. There's a link in the description if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Just take a look
Win
at it. Show
$100.
notes. Yeah,
You gotta
$100.
start with the money, Sydney. When you're trying to get people to do something, you just say $100, and then now they're interested.
$100.
$100. You don't have to give your social security number. You don't have to give blood. Nothing. You
No,
just sign up for the app, your email, create a password. You join the group, and you basically you just pick stuff. And I think we're gonna do a video tomorrow on. I think I cooked on the last one, except
no,
LAFC screwed me over.
yeah,
Absolutely screwed me over. Bama Baller, congratulations. Thanks for coming for the first time.
yeah,
Thanks for hanging out.
absolutely,
We're gonna be talking about
absolutely.
another win next Wednesday, but
Hopefully,
join it. You could do some picks, and if not, come back to our video tomorrow or Friday, whenever it's coming. I think Friday. We'll give
yeah,
you some good picks, and you'll be a champion. And you'll have $100,000. No, $100, not 100,000. Just
$100,
100. Just
just 100.
$100. Just $100.
Um, but no, it's free to sign up, and the
I
link.
took Bijan. Damn it. Sorry.
The link is in our description on YouTube and on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Follow us on social media: Scarves, the letter N, Spikes on X, Scarves Andy Spikes on Bluesky, Scarves Andy Spikes on Instagram and Threads. Tommy, where are you on social media?
3-win streak at AskJeeves.com or Tommy ATL 96.
I'm at SH Rice on X, SH Rice on Blue Sky, Soccer, Instagram and Threads. Tyler is at ATL Pilgrim on all social media platforms. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Can I talk? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
So yesterday I did have a fantasy draft, and it was an auction draft, so I got to get the first player nominated, of course, because they know who I am, was Bijan Robinson. Let me tell you, I've taken Bijan every year since he's been in there, and every year I have his jersey in my backpack.
Except
and then
this
when I
year.
select him, I put it on, and nothing can go wrong when you have Bijan. Nothing.
Well, if you're the Falcons, everything else goes wrong.
I'm sorry, Sydney. What happened at Mercedes-Benz Stadium when the Buffalo Bills? They Buffalo Billed it. Is that a verb?
How many times have the Bills been to the playoffs though?
I don't even know, man. I just know before I even get sitted down for the playoffs, Buffalo's already eliminated.
Well, at least you're watching the playoffs. You're not watching the Falcons in the playoffs.
I told you, I saw Buffalo Bill fans all over Cleveland.
Yeah.
They were texting over the weekend. They were everywhere. The one guy came up to me, and my Falcons fan goes, Falcons fan. And then I looked at him, and I had quite a few drinks at that time. And I quickly, while we were talking for a minute, I just pulled it up, and I pulled up the score of the Falcons Buffalo Bills game last year and just showed it to them. And then they all just looked at me, and then I walked away.
That's the end of the story.
There was nothing else.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so many terrible picks at 17. All right, end the music.